a WikiVidi documentaries production. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy. Lady Gaga. Stefani Joanne Angelina Germanotta, known professionally as Lady Gaga, is an American singer, songwriter, and actress. She is known for her unconventionality and provocative work as well as experimenting with new images. Gaga began her musical career performing songs at open mic nights and school plays. She studied at Cap 21 through New York University's Tisch School of the Arts before dropping out to become a professional musician. After Def Jam Recordings cancelled her contract, Gaga worked as a songwriter for Sony ATV Music Publishing, where Akon helped her sign a joint deal with Interscope Records and his own label KonLive Distribution in 2007. She rose to prominence the following year with her debut album, a dance pop and electropop record titled The Fame, and its chart-topping singles, Just Dance, and Poker Face. A follow-up EP, The Fame Monster, featuring the singles, Bad Romance, Telephone, and Alejandro, also proved successful. Gaga's second full-length album Born This Way explored electronic rock and techno. The album topped the US charts, where it sold more than 1 million copies in its first week. Its title track also became the fastest-selling song on iTunes with over 1 million downloads in less than a week. Gaga ventured into R&B and disco with her third album Art Pop, which topped the US charts and included the single, Applause. In 2014, Gaga released a jazz album with Tony Bennett titled Cheek to Cheek, her third consecutive #1 album in the US. For her acting work in the television series American Horror Story, Hotel, Gaga won a Golden Globe Award for Best Actress in 2016. Her fifth studio album, Joanne, incorporated genres such as country and pop. And she became the first woman to have 4 US #1 albums in the 2010s when it topped the country's charts. In February 2017, Gaga performed the Super Bowl 51 halftime show, which was met with critical acclaim. Having sold 27 million albums and 146 million singles as of January 2016, Gaga is one of the best-selling music artists of all time. Her achievements include several Guinness World Records, 3 Brit Awards, 6 Grammy Awards, and awards from the Songwriters Hall of Fame and the Council of Fashion Designers of America. Gaga has been declared Billboard's Artist of the Year and included among Forbes Power and Earnings rankings. She was ranked at number 4 on VH1's Greatest Women in Music in 2012, finished second on Time's 2011 Readers' Poll of the Most Influential People of the Past 10 Years, and was named Billboard's Woman of the Year in 2015. She is known for her philanthropic work and social activism, including LGBT rights, and for her non-profit organization, the Born This Way Foundation, which focuses on promoting youth empowerment and combating bullying. 1986-2005, Early Life. Stefani Joanne Angelina Germanotta was born on March 28, 1986, in Manhattan, New York at the Lenox Hill Hospital, to a Catholic family with Italian and French-Canadian roots. Her parents are Cynthia Louise and internet entrepreneur Joseph Germanotta, and she has a younger sister, Natalie. Brought up in the affluent Upper West Side of Manhattan, she says that her parents came from lower-class families and worked hard for everything. From age 11, she attended the Convent of the Sacred Heart, a private, all-girls Roman Catholic school. Gaga described her academic life in high school as very dedicated, very studious, very disciplined, but also a bit insecure. She considered herself a misfit among her peers and was mocked for being either too provocative or too eccentric. Gaga began to play the piano at the age of 4 when her mother insisted she become a cultured young woman, taking lessons and practicing the instrument throughout her childhood. The lessons taught her to create music by ear, which she preferred over reading sheet music, and practiced professionally. The singer's parents encouraged her to pursue music, and enrolled her in creative arts camp. As a teenager, she played at open mic nights. At her high school, Gaga played the lead roles of Adelaide and Guys and Dolls and Philia in A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum. She also studied method acting at the Lee Strasberg Theatre and Film Institute for 10 years. Gaga unsuccessfully auditioned for New York shows, though appeared in a small role as a high school student in a 2001 episode of The Sopranos titled The Telltale Musadel. In 2003, at age 17, Gaga gained early admission to collaborative arts project 21A Music School at New York University's Tisch School of the Arts, and lived in a NYU dorm. At NYU, she studied music and improved her songwriting skills by writing essays on art, religion, social issues, and politics, including a thesis on pop artists Spencer Tunick and Damien Hirst. During her second semester of her sophomore year in 2005, she withdrew to focus on her music career. The same year, she played an unsuspecting diner customer for MTV's Boiling Points, a prank reality television show. In 2014, Gaga said she had been raped at the age of 19, for which she underwent mental and physical therapy. She suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder that she attributes to the incident, and says that support from doctors, family, and friends have helped her. 2005-2007 Career beginnings. In 2005, Gaga recorded 2 songs with hip-hop singer Grandmaster Mel Mel for an audiobook accompanying Cricket Casey's children's novel The Portal in the Park. She also formed a band called the SG Band with some friends from NYU. The band played at gigs around New York, becoming a fixture of the downtown Lower East Side club scene. After the 2006 Songwriters Hall of Fame New Songwriters Showcase at the Cutting Room in June, Gaga was recommended to music producer Rob Fusari by talent scout Wendy Starland. Fusari collaborated with Gaga, who traveled daily to New Jersey, helping to develop her songs and compose new material. The producer said they began dating in May 2006, and claimed to have been the first person to call her Lady Gaga, which was derived from Queen's song, Radio Gaga. Their relationship lasted until January 2007. Fusari and Gaga established a company called Team Lovechild, LLC to promote her career. They recorded and produced electropop tracks, sending them to music industry executives. Joshua Sarubin, the head of artists and repertoire at Def Jam Recordings, responded positively and, after approval from Sarubin's boss Antonio L.A. Reid, Gaga was signed to Def Jam in September 2006. She was dropped from the label 3 months later and returned to her family home for Christmas. She began performing at neo-burlesque shows, which according to her represented freedom. During this time, she met performance artist Lady Starlight, who helped mold her onstage persona. The pair began performing at downtown club venues like the Mercury Lounge, the Bitter End, and the Rockwood Music Hall. Their live performance art piece, known as Lady Gaga and the Starlight Review, and billed as the ultimate pop burlesque rock show, was a tribute to 1970s variety acts. They performed at the 2007 Lollapalooza Music Festival. Having initially focused on avant-garde electronic dance music, Gaga began to incorporate pop melodies and the glam rock style of David Bowie and Queen into her songs. While Gaga and Starlight were performing, Fusari continued to develop the songs he had created with her, sending them to the producer and record executive Vincent Herbert. In November 2007, Herbert signed Gaga to his label Streamline Records, an imprint of Interscope Records, established that month. Gaga later credited Herbert as the man who discovered her. Having served as an apprentice songwriter during an internship at Famous Music Publishing, Gaga struck a music publishing deal with Sony ATV. As a result, she was hired to write songs for Britney Spears, New Kids on the Block, Fergie, and the Pussycat Dolls. At Interscope, musician Akon was impressed with her singing abilities when she sang a reference vocal for one of his tracks in studio. Akon convinced Jimmy Iovine, chairman and CEO of Interscope Geffen A&M, to form a joint deal by having Gaga also sign with his own label KonLive, making her his franchise player. In late 2007, Gaga met with songwriter and producer Red One. She collaborated with him in the recording studio for a week on her debut album, signing with Cherry Tree Records, an Interscope imprint established by producer and songwriter Martin Kirstenbaum. She also wrote 4 songs with Kirstenbaum. Despite securing a record deal, she said that some radio stations found her music too racy, dance-oriented, and underground, for the mainstream market. The singer responded to them, "My name is Lady Gaga, I've been on the music scene for years, and I'm telling you, this is what's next." 2008-2010, breakthrough with the Fame and the Fame Monster. By 2008, Gaga had relocated to Los Angeles to work extensively with her record label to complete her debut album, The Fame, and to set up her own creative team called the House of Gaga, modeled on Andy Warhol's Factory. The Fame was released on August 19, 2008, reaching #1 in Austria, Canada, Germany, Ireland, Switzerland, and the UK, and appearing in the top 5 in Australia and the US. Its first two singles, Just Dance and Poker Face, reached #1 in the United States, Australia, Canada, and the United Kingdom. The latter was also the world's best-selling single of 2009, with 9.8 million copies sold that year, and spent a record 83 weeks on the digital songs chart. 3 other singles, Love Game, and Paparazzi, were released from the album. The last one reached #1 in Germany. Remixed versions of the singles from The Fame except were included in hit mixes in August 2009. At the 52nd Annual Grammy Awards, The Fame and Poker Face won Best Dance/Electronic Album and Best Dance Recording, respectively. Following her opening act on the Pussycat Dolls' 2009 Doll Domination Tour in Europe and Oceania, Gaga headlined her worldwide The Fame Ball Tour, which ran from March to September 2009. While traveling the globe, she wrote 8 songs for The Fame Monster, a reissue of The Fame. Those new songs were also released as a standalone EP on November 18, 2009. Its first single, Bad Romance, was released 1 month earlier, and went #1 in Canada and the UK while reaching #2 in the US, Australia, and New Zealand. Telephone, with Beyoncé, followed as the second single, and became Gaga's 4th UK #1. Its third single was Alejandro, which reached #1 in Finland and attracted controversy when its music video was deemed blasphemous by the Catholic League. Both tracks also reached the top 5 in the US. The video for Bad Romance became the most watched on YouTube in April 2010, and Gaga became the first person with more than 1 billion combined views the following October. At the 2010 MTV Video Music Awards, Gaga won 8 awards from 13 nominations, including Video of the Year for Bad Romance. She became the most nominated artist for a single year, and the first female to receive 2 nominations for Video of the Year at the same ceremony. The Fame Monster won the Grammy Award for Best Pop Vocal Album, and Bad Romance won Best Female Pop Vocal Performance and Best Short-Form Music Video. In 2009, Gaga spent a record 150 weeks on the UK singles chart and became the most downloaded female act in a year in the US, with 11.1 million downloads, earning an entry in the Guinness World Records. The Fame as well as The Fame Monster have sold more than 15 million copies worldwide. This success allowed Gaga to start a second worldwide concert tour, the Monster Ball Tour, and release The Remix, her final record with Cherry Tree Records and among the best-selling remix albums of all time. The former ran from November 2009 to May 2011 and grossed $227.4 million, making it the highest-grossing concert tour for a debut headlining artist. Concerts performed at Madison Square Garden in New York City were filmed for an HBO television special titled Lady Gaga Presents the Monster Ball Tour at Madison Square Garden. Gaga also performed songs from the albums at the 2009 Royal Variety Performance, 52nd Annual Grammy Awards, and the 2010 Brit Awards. Before Michael Jackson's death, Gaga was set to take part in his cancelled This Is It concert series at London's O2 Arena. During this era, Gaga ventured into business, collaborating with consumer electronics company Monster Cable Products to create in-ear, jewel-encrusted headphones called Heartbeats by Lady Gaga. Gaga also partnered with Polaroid in January 2010 as their creative director and announced a suite of photo-capturing products called Grey Label. Her collaboration with past producer and ex-boyfriend Rob Fusari led to her production team, Mermaid Music LLC, being sued. At this time, Gaga was tested borderline positive for lupus, but claimed not to be affected by the symptoms and hoped to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Would you like to know more?